I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. I got to change the name. I'm going to wait for y'all funky asses to get up in here. Let me read my copyright disclaimer before we get started. Copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Y'all funky asses is going to stop playing with the old man. I told you. Come on. Come on. Pull up. I told y'all what y'all funk guilty. All right. Towns. It went down. It went down. Shout out to Ratchet TV. Ratchet TV dropped the bombshell on social media. Let's see who that. Salute Leslie. Salute Olivia. Olivia says he's not innocent. He's still facing. Nah. Miss Bull says yes. Nah. We gonna deal with the facts at hand with y'all funky asses. Oh yeah. I told y'all. Y'all funky ass wouldn't listen to the old man. Appreciate the super chat, Miss Parker. Let's go, Shank Rock. Let's go. Now, before I get to Ratchet TV versus Tisa Tells, what did I tell y'all? Now, for those that felt the same way I felt, for those that believed the same thing that I was believing, let me rephrase it. We told y'all funky asses. They didn't prove racketeering. They didn't prove racketeering. All they proved was a domestic violence beef. All they proved was freak-offs. That's it. They tried to stretch the law, but it didn't work this time. And I knew when that juror 25, shout out to juror 25, I knew it because he's a scientist. So what was we taught in science class? We would, and y'all gonna have to help me out, but in science class, we were taught to get to the depth. We was taught to get to the root. We was taught to investigate. That's what I'm trying to say. We was taught to investigate. Don't go off of just what is on the face of the surface. Take a deep dive. Now, y'all funky asses kept coming. Shank Rock, you're wrong. It is racketeering. It is RICO, Shank Rock. RICO can apply to all sorts of things. And what did me, along with everybody else, try to tell y'all? Number one, what did they put RICO on the books for? To bring down the mafia, petty pickpocketers. The whole reason why they put it on the books was because those criminal organizations, was making money. Baby Oil Man wasn't making no money off of these freak-offs. He wasn't. Sex trafficking, prostitution, all right. Okay. But not RICO. Y'all funky asses gonna learn to listen to the old man. I know about this much. The whole world knows more than Shank Rock. But I know what I know. Some of y'all, Shank Rock don't know what he talking about. Some of y'all funky asses doxed me and looked up my record. to see what all I had been locked up for. Shank don't know what he talking about. Shank wasn't locked up for this. Shank wasn't locked up for that. Shank was only locked up for this. Shank was only locked up for that. Well, what the hell do that got to do with Shank Rock knowing the goddamn law? Huh? Y'all feel real stupid right about that. I got to ride y'all funky asses. Now, y'all gonna accept this funky ass whipping, or y'all funky asses can get the hell up out of my platform, and don't you never bring your funky asses back. Because I told you. Let's go to my man Ratchet TV and watch my man Ratchet TV ride down on Tisa Tells with her funky ass. Y'all had Tisa Tells lying to y'all. Y'all had Tisa Tells feeding y'all that bullshit. This is what I keep trying to explain to y'all. Tisa Tells was clout chasing. I try to tell y'all that try to come for me about the super chats and the super stickers and making money. I said, look, for real, if I was going to clout chase, if I was really going to do it, I had millions and millions of subscribers like Tisa Tells. I would feed y'all a bunch of bullshit. I told y'all that, but I was giving y'all the real with y'all funky asses. Y'all a bunch of funky asses that believe anything. Oh yeah, this is Funky Asses Roasting Hour. If your funky ass can't stand the heat, get your funky ass not out of the kitchen. Get your funky ass up out of Shank's chat. You're going to learn. Your funky ass is going to learn today. Listen to Shank Rock. Your funky ass. Oh, yeah. But let's check out my man Ratchet TV as he hands Tisa Tells a much needed roast with her funky ass. And y'all was believing her. Y'all was believing Tisa Tells. Everything that funky ass weed wearing hoe was feeding y'all. Y'all believed it. I'm just keeping it 100. See, y'all believe the bullshit, and the bullshit gets promoted. She made, I believe, CNN. She made TMZ. She made all the major platforms. So in your mind, you felt like, well, she knows what she's talking about. Shank Rock, you have less than 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. Man, if y'all don't get y'all funky asses away from Shank Rock, y'all lucky that I ain't had a glass of wine. I ain't had no glass of wine, so I really can't roast y'all how I really want to roast y'all. But once again, racketeering, RICO, that was put on the books for the mafia. Big U out there in California. Big U. They hit Big U with racketeering. Big Meech, racketeering. The mafia, racketeering. Let's go to my man. Ratchet TV. Because I believe I set too many funky asses already. But I was waiting for this day. Let's go, Ratchet.
He beat it. Not guilty. Yeah, right now, not guilty. Not guilty for the RICO. Not guilty for 2 sex trafficking. That's it. Yeah, did he won, man?
Still motherfucking with something. The motherfucking with like 5.
Yeah.
Or 3 for 7.
Yeah.
Something like that.
3 to 7 years.
Because they don't want him walk.
They didn't want him to. He wasn't gonna leave with doing nothing. He had to do some time.
Yes.
Yeah, they weren't just gonna let him walk out of here.
Yes.
It's okay.
Remember, it's a lot of people behind this.
Yep, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of hired people. Yeah. He made the wrong people mad. The wrong people mad.
You know what you're talking
about.
No, you're talking.
Diageo, the liquor company.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go. Diddy. Yeah, I said he was going to get found guilty for 2 counts of prostitution. The train funds I knew were never going to stick, and I knew for a fact that Rico wasn't going to stick. Free Puff 2 years. King of New York. King of New York. King of New York. Salute to Armand Wiggins. Armand, how you?
Y'all see what they doing, right? Positive vibes. You see what they doing, right? Every time Shank Rock gets the drop in jewels. See, y'all see what they doing. Kiki and everybody else, y'all see what they doing to the old man. Why is it always difficulties with the old man? Y'all see it. Y'all see this ish. Yeah. Now, Kiki and Positive Vibe, they see it. They know. Y'all see? Y'all see? But guess what? We ain't going no. We ain't. I'm all off beat. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. It's Shank Rock for life. We ain't. Come on, baby, old man. Going nowhere. I'm off beat like an MFer. We ain't. Go. We can't be stopped now. Come on, baby, oil man. They funky asses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get back to my man Ratchet as he gets Tisa towels. Let's ride, y'all.
How you feeling? How you feeling? How you doing?
I knew it wasn't gonna be no Rico. I said I'm on live stream today. No Rico.
No Rico.
But they did get him, on some charges, which there was evidence.
He did
but
that.
This ain't no BMF case.
No.
So, well, how much time you think?
4 to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah. What you think?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
4 to 7.
Yeah.
Salute to Lovely T, y'all. Go follow you. Y'all all know her. She famous. She famous. I ain't even gotta shout you out. They know who you are. Salute to Lovely T. Always leaving. You leaving today? Well, salute to you. Thanks for coming out. It was nice meeting you. I'm gonna send you my number on Instagram. Stay in touch. Salute. He right there. Man. Lovely T in the building, y'all. They say go find Tisa Tail. Yeah, where's Tisa at? I want to see her lying ass. Yeah, she's somewhere ducked off in the corner lying. Somewhere ducked off in the corner. I don't give a damn who y'all tell I said what. Yeah, I said it. And what?
Let's go, Rat.
Stop lying on Diddy. Stop lying on Diddy. Free Puff. I told y'all my boy coming home, man. Free Puff. Free Puff. Let's go. Where y'all at with all that lying?
I got to get you.
I'm looking for the liars, y'all.
Where you comment, I'm just saying
live right now
because your funky ass didn't listen. Olivia says, I'm happy he wasn't convicted of the inflated charges, but let's not glorify the monster. He's a woman abuser, physically, mentally, and sexually. How about this? How about those funky ass hoes, Cassie? See, what we're not going to do is we're not going to let those funky ass hoes give a man a bad name. I said this in the demonstration about the little baby Miss Shirley with her funky ass mother. What we're not going to do, we're not going to allow women to bully us no more. Y'all funky ass women been bullying men for so long. Y'all funky ass women have been doing all kind of bullshit, huh? And then make us men accept y'all bullshit. Maury, where's Maury Povich funky ass? Y'all remember the Maury Povich show? Huh? Remember? The women be on there. I know that's my baby daddy. I know I ain't sleep with nobody else. And as soon as the results come in, that funky ass baby mother fall out on the floor. And Maury Povich funky ass do what? Tell the baby, the baby father supposedly be, no, leave her alone, leave her alone. Maury was supposed to let the men ride down on those funky ass hoes for bringing them cross country, lying on them on national television. See, this is why we're in the situation that we're in right now today. Look, gloves off. Y'all might want to take y'all funky asses up out of here. Even the innocent can get banged up today. I'm on one and I ain't coming down. Come on with y'all funky asses. I'm so tired of y'all funky ass women doing bullshit and the men have to take responsibility for y'all shit. Why? Those women were hoes. Cassie was a hoe. Nothing more, nothing less. She was a hoe. Fuck you talking about? We're not going to just sit back and just glorify this monster. One thing we ain't going to for surely keep saying is that he's guilty of racketeering. One thing's for sure we ain't going to do over here. We're not going to let that funky ass hoe, Cassie, get away with the bullshit that she done. But I don't see nobody checking Cassie's funky, stinking breath, no booty. My man, the escort, when Cameron asked the escort, the Punisher, man, how was the kitty cat? A real ninja question. Y'all all in y'all feelings. Oh, why Cam asked that? He want to know how the kitty. See, this is men's talk. We can talk how we want to talk. Why we always got to watch how we talk? He asked that escort, that male escort, about Cassie's kitty. Ninja, how was the kitty? And even he tried to downplay it. If the kitty was good, that male escort would have keep messing with. They keep waiting to get on one. Those funky asses keep. Let me go to Ratchet, y'all.
I don't see it nowhere. Nowhere to be found. Look around. Where you at? Where you at? How you feeling? Star, how you feeling?
I'm just so happy seeing him safe. But I'm still open on eviction, so that can be returned. The system did their job.
And Trump can still pardon him.
Yeah.
So hey, it's all good.
Until that is appealed.
He can get a bond for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I
You gotta remember that judge still working with the
But that what he did is a maximum of 7 years. years.
It should be, but you know they like to twist things around and try to. If they follow the law, then what you're saying is correct. But you know the way that they apply the law and switch it up, depending on who they trying to prosecute, you just never know. How does never know having bail? How does he? Nobody
but you know what? Not having bail works out. You know why? Because now you've already done a year. A year has already been gone. A year and a half.
Get your time served.
So yeah, so now 4 years, you haven't gonna do 2 years and be out.
I hear you on that. If you're looking at it like by the time, I hear
yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that you sat in there for a year because they were gonna give you time anyway. So it's good that you go ahead and get the time out the way and you coming home sooner than later.
My thing is, I can say that sometimes it's good to drug problem detox. And
and he get time to get himself together, man. He got to change anyway. He needs help. Diddy needs help. He don't need jail. He needs real psychological help for whatever the fuck he had going on.
As I posted the video that I had with the associate, people were very outraged and angry, telling me how could you possibly be a domestic violence advocate and be there to support Diddy? I mean,
hey, Armand, did the family leave yet?
They didn't like him.
The family's here?
Well, Jane Doe.
I don't know.
Jane Doe threw the paper.
Yo, funky ass. I told you.
Man,
See, let me
home sooner than later. It's coming home
let me get
sooner
your
than later.
funky ass up out of here. Let me get your funky ass up out of here, all right? Let me read this funky ass comment. You just contradicted yourself. You always say all opinions are welcome and respect each other's opinion. Why is it different today? And a 60-year educated woman, not a funky ass, you have a blessed day. Get your funky ass up out of here. I told y'all from the beginning, y'all funky asses might not want to hang around. I tried to tell you, Olivia, is what I'm saying. And any and everybody else that didn't listen to me. You ain't the only one that's a funky ass, Olivia. That's why those funky asses is up in my bushes, because they know not to bring their funky asses up out of them bushes. Yes, you is a funky ass when you constantly go against what I'm telling you. That is not an opinion. It's a fact. I told y'all. I told you. It's a fact that they didn't prove RICO. All right? Now get your funky ass up out of here. Now you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay. But for future references, listen to the old man when I tell y'all, listen, I know what I'm talking about. It's a fact. All right? Now that's all the attention I'm going to give your funky ass. Go and come back, relax, take a sip of wine, chill, read a book, do something. But right now, Olivia, leave me alone. And I don't give a damn who gets mad. I get tired of people trying to tell Shank when I tell you what I know. When I tell you what I know, leave it at that. All right, Shank. I get challenged all the time. Even though this is an open platform and an opinionated platform and everybody's opinion is welcome. However, I got the right. I got the right to roast. I got the right to come for anybody that disagree with me. I got that right. I got that right. Nothing more, nothing less. I was just commenting on the guilty charges and you put me in the category with others who disagree with you, never said you didn't speak the facts. Then I wasn't talking to you, Olivia. You put yourself in that category. I wasn't talking to you. I didn't say your name. I said those funky asses. I didn't come for you. I didn't single you out and say, let me tell you about yourself, Olivia. That's you coming for me. I keep telling y'all, sometimes I'm cool. Sometimes I'm very humble. Sometimes I'm very respectful. But it just depends on the time of the day. It depends on how you catch me. It just depends. Now, let me pop my shit. See, you keep fucking with me. I'm trying to move past this. You're trying to run my platform. I'm the head nigga in charge over here, Olivia. Now you keep on, and I'm gonna keep entertaining your funky ass. Leave me alone. Nothing more, nothing less. Go ahead. Damn. If it wasn't meant for you, it wasn't meant for you. Let me do something better. Let me do something better. No, you called me out. Go back on your replay. You said, Olivia, you're funky because you keep coming for me. You keep coming for me. Let it go. If you didn't have any issue with me speaking about Baby Oil Man being not guilty, why do you keep bothering me? Now, I don't want to block you. That's going to be my last resort. I don't want to block you now, all right? I just blocked her funky ass. You should do the same. I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all so used to Shank Rock being nice all the goddamn time. I overdo it with niceness. I work overtime being nice to everybody. I do. Y'all won't get this same niceness on other platforms. Y'all won't. So when I'm on one, sit your funky ass down because anybody can get it. I don't give a fuck. Damn. Let's get back to Ratchet.
Get out. Get out. Yeah, well, I'm gonna you can go.
Woo!
Oh my God. We were like number 8. I was 9. We sprinted out. We were like the first people to run out of the courtroom to bring the news to you guys on our lives.
But the thing is,
we were not surprised.
I
was on his live stream right before we went inside. He said to me, I think it's going to be transportation and that's it. And I thought you were being a simp for Diddy. I go, he's being wishful. And you were right.
I told you. I said the verdict was leaked this morning. Everyone said, what was the leaked verdict? I was on live at 8 something this morning and I told everybody, I got the verdict. I got the leaked verdict. And I told them it was 2 counts of guilty verdict on prostitution and everything else he's going to walk on. I thought that they were going to give a hung jury on the RICO, but they said no.
I wanted
guilty.
a hung jury because I wanted to come into this all again. I had a lot of fun covering the trial.
I'm out here for some more time, though. I'm going to still stay out here.
I'm going to stay here for a few days. You also predicted it.
So, y'all, your boy Ratchet TV was right again. So, chat, can I get my flowers in the chat? All I want is flowers at this point. I like my flowers in gold, though. Hey, send me a super chat. Hey, man.
Flowers to Ratchet TV. He was another one.
Hold on, let me get you on the camera. Y'all go support Rap Show. How you feeling about that verdict, man?
Hey, yo, man. I think it's fair. You know what I'm saying? I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
It was, because he did that.
Yeah, I think it's fair. You know, it didn't work. Hopefully he get home to his family ASAP and they can get back to regular life. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he can get out of here quicker than you think. You know what I'm saying?
How much time you think he gonna get for that?
Well, he might get about 4, right?
That's what I said.
So he been in 11 months.
Yep.
So when you calculate, if you know the system, he would go back in for about 18 months, the minimum, and come back home on house arrest or parole or something for probation.
Facts.
They're gonna be in there long.
It's a win for him because he was just facing life and he ends up with about 4 years. That's a win on all parts. The feds lost.
Shout out to Ratchet TV. Thank you.
And for the record, let it be known that you can beat the feds. You can beat the feds when the feds got a weak case like they had against Baby Oil Man. So for all of y'all out there that might catch a Fed case, if it's a weak case, take it to trial. Take it to trial. A lot of people say, well, you know, it's the feds, woo-de-woo-woo-woo-woo, but it was a weak case from the very beginning. The way how they came on. Remember? Where are those? Where my man, what's my man that was just on the other day? Just the facts. Now I'm calling out just the facts. See, now I'm calling out people. Come on out my bushes, just the facts. My little brother, Dana J. You know I love you to death, little brother. But I got to get you, Dana J, because I told you, Dana J. I told you. Come on out the bushes, Dana J. Just the facts. You know I got to come for you, cuzzo. Nikki Lynn. Come on, Nikki Lynn. Let's do this. Let's do this. And everybody else that insisted on going against me. Try to tell y'all. And I'm not letting up. Nah. I'm not letting up. Because I try to tell y'all. So y'all bring y'all funky asses out of my bushes and let's talk. Come on. All funky asses. This is a funky ass call. All funky asses that went against Shank Rock. Come on out of the bushes. And for the record, when I say funky ass, I'm not saying it in a negative, in a derogatory word phrase. That's just my favorite word that I like to go to. If y'all been around, y'all know I call myself a funky ass sometimes. So please, don't think that I'm disrespecting you when I call you a funky ass. All right? Nikki Lynn, Dana J, just the facts. Come on. Come on.
Hey, he the hottest content creator in New York.
Isn't
That's the hottest content creator in Dallas.
You already know what it is. You already know what it is.
It's called the real what?
The Real Rap Show. Salute to him. Y'all super real. And oh man. How y'all feeling, gang? Hey, Ratchet gang. Can I get my flowers now? Didn't I just break that news for y'all right before I went on live and came back out here and gave y'all the real verdict? Didn't I already tell y'all I had the leaked verdict? See, y'all listening to all these other content creators when I had the truth. Y'all didn't want to listen to TV. Y'all did. I just went live an hour ago and told y'all what the verdict.
That man want his flowers. Let's give Ratchet TV his flowers. Shout out to Ratchet TV. Baby Oil Man has been found not guilty of RICO.
Got news from inside that building of what the verdict was going to be. How did I get that information? So subscribe to the channel, man. I'm the realest out here, dog. I told y'all. Oh man, Diddy is been home, guys, in my chat and super chats. If you ain't sending the flower or super chat, just be quiet for like seconds. You know, the flower, or then just be quiet for like 60 seconds and let me take this in right now, man. Let me take this in right now. I feel great. I don't lose no credibility in this case. I come out on top. Your boy Ratchet TV comes out on top. The atmosphere, everybody looking gloomy. All these people that lied.
We find out what happens with the case.
What's up, man? What's going on, brother? How you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah,
How you feeling?
Good, man. What you think?
I'm feeling great. 4 years. 4 years.
4 years?
4 years.
Okay, they give them 20 and then...
They can't do this, so they can't do that. What you thought? What you think?
I called the verdict before we went in there. I knew it. I knew what the verdict was going to be.
You knew it was going to be
Two counts of
transportation.
2 counts. I said 2 counts of transportation, free on everything else. 4 years. He coming home. He'll be home in 2 years.
All right.
Well, how you feeling about it?
I mean, it's always a gamble with the jury. I stick firm in feeling like he was guilty of acting for nasty. But there's majority men on the jury, so I already knew that was going to weigh heavier because in the eyes of a lot of men, they don't view that the same. So, but as it pertains to Jane, I didn't feel like the S trafficking for her was going to stick.
So for all y'all funky ass women out there That's on the left side of the tracks. Now, if you ain't on the left side of the tracks, this don't apply to you. All right, so don't go sticking your motherfucking nose into the left side of the track women's business. All right, y'all stay y'all asses on the right side of the track. This is for those funky ass women like Cassie that's on the left side of the tracks. You roll the dice. Y'all keep rolling the dices. Y'all ain't gonna win all the time. Now, y'all set out to take down a man, all right? Y'all come up with all kind of scheming and conniving ways on how to take down a man and get millions from a man. It might just backfire on your funky ass. That's what I'm here to say. I'm more pissed. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm pissed at. I'm more pissed that Cassie was allowed to get away with the BS that she got away with. But Shank, come on, man. Come on, Shank. You being cold now. Shank, we saw on video. We seen on video him dragging Cassie. But why did Cassie stay? Why did she stay? I know some cases, women are dependent solely on men. I understand that. And that's a case that I would never come down on a woman for if she's dependent solely on a man, because that means financially she just wasn't able to leave. But Cassie's funky ass, am I lying or not? Cassie and Baby Oil Man wasn't living together. Cassie had her own money coming in. Cassie had money. Cassie went away for months, I believe, to film that movie. Cassie had plenty of times to get away from Baby Oil Man. Too many times this happens. It happens with those white women with no asses that we call Karens. It happened with those funky ass immigrant women that come over here and look down on black men. And it happens for those funky ass black women on the left side of the track that loves to tear down a black man. This is not only a win for Baby Oil Man. This is a win for black men, period. Y'all don't understand what black men go through. Y'all really don't. Y'all really don't understand what we go through. No matter what we do, we try to help the world. We try to help everybody. Baby Oil Man, he didn't need Cassie. Cassie needed Baby Oil Man. That's why she went to Baby Oil Man. What? Ask yourself this. What did Cassie contribute to Baby Oil Man's empire? What did she bring in? Not a damn dollar. Now, if she could prove that she was in these freak-offs with men and these men were paying her, if she could have said that, look, Baby Oil Man was sending me on these escort missions to sleep with these men and for money, and then I bring the money back, and then he take the money and he used the money for studio equipment, for studio time, for merchandise. That's racketeering. That's RICO. That's using prostitution. See, it's bigger than just the prostitution. Go to Pimping 101. This is how the pimps get caught up in it, because the pimps are transporting. That's what sex trafficking, that's what all that was put on the books for the pimps. They're transporting these prostitutes across state lines for sexual activity, for financial gain. And then in return, the finance that the prostitutes receive, they give it to the pimps. And then the pimps use that to buy luxury cars, suits. And established businesses. This is how the pimps are brought down. And this is why it was put on the books for the pimps. But I know y'all don't want to listen to Shank Rock. Well, guess what? Y'all funky asses going to listen to me today. How dare you not listen to Shank Rock? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. You see, what you need to do is you need to get, because see, it's folks out there that ask questions about Shank Rock. Go to the people that ran with me back in the days. Go to the people, as much as my baby mothers hate me, go pull up my baby mothers and ask them about me. I know what I'm talking about. I laugh, I joke, but I know what I'm talking about. So I'm just hoping from today on that stop challenging me. Stop it. When I tell you something, I was telling y'all about Donald Trump. I gotta call you out for this, Mel. Nobody is off limits. Mel's funky ass. You challenged me about the Donald Trump. You challenged me about the reparations. Y'all gonna listen to Shank Rock, because you never know when I'll light your funky ass up. I'm waiting humbly for Nikki Lynn, Dana J, and Just the Facts. Come on out of the bushes and take this ass whipping, because y'all funky asses should have listened to me. I stand on that. I see you, Cam. I see you, Cam, talk too much. Did he beat the feds? Did he beat the feds? Yes, he did.
And I was undecided of the Rico.
So how you feel good about it? You okay?
I mean, either way, I was gonna sleep good at yeah, you know.
At night, y'all. She don't lose no credibility in this case. It's somebody out here who did lose a lot of credibility, though. We're going to talk about that later. Nick, so let me walk off on that now. Let me get the hell about that conversation. Come on, you knew I was coming. You knew I was coming.
Get over here. I told you all it was a freako, not a Rico. All right? I told you all the hell was the man. All right?
And see, I like Mel. What Mel say? I did, Shank, until I saw the bigger picture. Now I'm piling you up with info. And yes, you is, Mel. Mel piles me up with so much information, I be cussing Mel ass out. Will you stop sending me this, Mel? Stop it. But I'm just saying. Now, when I call y'all out, and this is what I'm saying, don't like Mel know it's all good. Come on. Don't get offended when I call you out. Like I said, when I say funky ass, I'm not using it in a negative way. That's just, my moniker. I like that word. So don't take it personal and say, oh, Shank Rock called me a funky ass. I bath 2 times a day. I shower 3 times a day. I put on perfume. I do this, I do that. I wipe my kitty cat after I had sex. I am not talking about that. I just use funky ass, as a moniker. I just like to use that, right? But Mel accepted her ass whipping. I want Nikki Lynn. Come on, Nikki. Dana J. And I really want my man, Just the Facts. Dana J and Nikki Lynn, they've been around for a minute, but that still don't exclude me from getting on y'all. But I really want Just the Facts. Because Just the Facts, you had a lot to say. Bring your funky ass out of them bushes. Come on now. Scorpio, I appreciate you. Come on, Just the Facts. You had it all. Your funky ass came over here and your funky ass had the most to say. Come on, good brother. Come on.
So how you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm feeling like I was right all along. Like I've been telling you guys, at the end of the day, they did not prove the RICO. All they had was the man act, and they only had that because of a text message. Okay? And there was a lot of shady things going on that I felt were not, there was absolutely bias. There were some racial elements that played out. And Maureen Comey actually lied when she did her rebuttal to the closing argument. But that all being said, I can't get down with that. Y'all know the Queen is a social justice warrior for truth. Okay? Go ahead. Are y'all going to bring him out?
All I gotta say is Rico. Diddy had the biggest win in history of hip hop. If he would have got found guilty of this charge right here, if he would have got found guilty of this charge, all the rappers is gonna get locked up.
And that's facts, Ratchet. If they would have found Baby Oil Man guilty of that RICO, all them rappers would get locked up. All of them. And Baby Oil Man ain't the first hip hop person to beat the feds. Luke Campbell, back in the late 80s, beat the feds. So he ain't the only one that beat the feds. I was right about Diddy as well, but I will not call my naysayers who swore they proved RICO. Hence, Shank, you know how I feel about Cassie. Guilty on 2 charges, that whole 20 years. So hopefully he gets 15 years. And that's going to be another topic of discussion, LaDon. You know, like I said, you know, and even everybody else that feel like he was not guilty of RICO, we do feel like he is guilty. I feel, let me speak for myself. I feel like he's guilty of domestic violence. I do. Now, how much time should he get for the domestic violence? But see, once again, that domestic violence should have been taken up in state court. You know, I definitely believe he's guilty of the domestic violence. You know? But let me get the Tisa tells, y'all.
She's so beautiful, ain't she? Ain't she so beautiful? Y'all know who that is, right? Do y'all know who that is right there? She fine as hell, ain't she, gang? Ain't she fine? Ain't she fine, gang? So Tisa somewhere with Gene Deal, big ass, hiding in the car saying they just want to go home. They said, damn. Yeah, she fine as hell, ain't she? They said, Lauren. Yeah, that's Lauren. She's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I think everything turned out exactly how it was supposed to turn out. He should pay for the crimes against the females, you know, that, you know, trafficked across, whatever. He got guilty for prostitution. That's cool. But the RICO, no. The RICO, no. It was always a no-go. Don't infringe on my rights because I'm going to pass the blunt to the homie, all right?
Yeah, facts.
You know?
So we couldn't now, if Diddy would have got found guilty of this would have set the precedent for every other rapper in America right now.
Everybody, the case law on this would have been ridiculous. If he would have got through with that RICO charge and they would have put that on him, distribution would have been considered your personal use weed, like in a state like Georgia, where it's still illegal, where I live. If I pass you the blunt, that is now distribution. That's not fair.
Exactly. So Diddy just won for the culture, and nobody even realized that he just won for all of us.
He just won for all of us. Do y'all understand? Do y'all understand that? Y'all heard him?
And I'm going to tell you why he just won for the culture. As I stated before, men has being bullied by the women on the left for so long. Every time a woman on the left, I'll say it again, a woman on the right, first of all, wouldn't have never been entertaining Baby Oil Man. No woman of God, no independent woman working a 9 to 5, no boss chick, no woman that got her head on her shoulders. None of them type of women would have been messing with Baby Oil Man. Only those women on the left side of the tracks. And we know the type of women that's on the left side of the tracks. We know they whole mind frame. It's all about them and nobody else. And they're going to use a man. They're going to turn a man inside out, upside down. They're going to make a man go broke. They don't give a damn. They're going to keep a man from taking care of his responsibilities. They don't give a damn how bad they drag that man, as long as they get what they want out of that man. And that's Cassie. That's Cassie. Cassie jumped from one man to another man. And that's facts. I agree, domestic violence is a state case, but somehow the feds picked up the case. Cassie went to Diddy as a 304. Her record label groomed her and dumped her on Diddy. Facts. And that's all we are saying. Now, if it had been another female, yeah. You know, what's old girl off of The Fresh Prince? Ashley? If it had been Ashley, then, you know, we talking. You know, if it had been any other woman with credibility of not being a funky ass hoe. What part are we missing in this? It's a no-brainer. And like Ratchet TV said, it's just a win for the culture. Men, y'all know how bad it is today. Like I said, as men and women are seeing it. And women are saying, damn, we allowed those women on the left. We allowed those women to mess up. A good men out here. Plenty of good see. Every time I get to dropping jewels, let me keep my funky ass mouth shut. How about that? The other day when I was doing a demonstration, they just completely wiped that demonstration out. So, dang, what happened to the demonstration? I'm trying to get to Tisa Tells, y'all. Salute, J-Rock. All right, here we go.
And week for 8 weeks, we don't care about that shit. What I'm saying, drop. You lied on a black man.
Here we go.
Free Puff.
Here you go.
Oh, y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it? Y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it? Oh, y'all just missed it. I just called us right there on live. I just went down and called us up. Yeah. But she's a liar. You lied.
I want Tisa Tells, y'all.
Telling lies.
Shit.
My God.
Tisa telling lies.
She lied.
Tisa telling lies. You don't want to say wig for 8 weeks, man. That. You don't want to say goddamn wig for 8 weeks. We care about that shit. You don't want to say dry ass wigs. We ain't doing no nothing. Calling me broke. Calling me broke. You gained your momentum off the Diddy case and the lies you told. You gained your momentum off the lies you told on P. Diddy. Now go back and apologize to Puff family for lying. And Shanquilla Robinson. She hate black people. She don't like black people. Knowing she date white boys. Knowing she do. No offense to nobody white. No offense.
What did I miss?
She's a liar. She's a liar. Tell your subscribers how you lied. Please tell your subscribers how you lied to them. Please and thank you. Platform with all them lies. She gonna lose her whole platform on mine. Whole platform gone. All them damners you told. No, we ain't harassing no woman. You the woman who was up here doing all that goddamn lying. You got to be held accountable like Cassie. You just got held accountable. The lies she told. You ain't no different from Cassie. Captain, you stop playing with me.
No, I'm not gonna lie. She's making a point.
She made her money in 8 weeks.
She's making a point. I ain't gonna lie.
She making a point. You seen my bread too. I ain't broke. Shit. Broke. Hey, chat. Drop them super chats to show her how broke I am. Drop them super chats to show her how broke I am. Lying that. You a motherfucking liar, Tisa. Ratchet TV, the Hood's journalist. Ratchet TV.
Now, what do you feel about this?
You a motherfucking liar, Tisa. Apologize to P. Diddy family. Apologize. That's all. I thought you had inside information from the courts. Where's the inside information? She lied. She said she did. Am I lying? Am I making it up? Am I making it up? She said she had all this inside information. She lied. She's a liar. With that dry ass wig on that you've been wearing for the last 8 weeks, talking about I'm broke. Go get a new goddamn wig.
Oh my God.
Don't call me broke. Well, fuck you talking. I'm going off on Tisa. He's a fucking liar. Hey, get him. I want them to put their hands on me.
Here comes out their kid.
YouTubers, you guys, no trouble.
Somebody remove him.
They've said that she's
Girl, you are not that important.
and all kind of stuff.
She's a federal informant. You're working for the feds. She's a YouTuber working for the federal government prosecution. Paid the prosecution. She's been paid by the prosecution. And she don't like black men at all. She hates black men. She called me a broke N-word. Is what she called me. And she wanted to put a hard ER on it.
Yeah, she definitely did.
She damn near put an ER on the end of that motherfucker when she called me. You broke. You brokey. You're brokey. Girl, you done wore the same outfit 18 times in 8 months.
And let me note this. Every time you call out one of those females on the left side, they only response. You can ask any man this. They always respond back by calling you broke. Oh, you broke. And you be scratching your head like, I got pocket full of money, credit cards, bank account on swole, businesses. But women on the left side, that's they only answer when they get called out. Are you broke? Shout out to Ratchet TV for handling his business and calling her funky ass out. And for those that know Tisa Tells and been following her, come on, y'all know Tisa Tells been on some bullshit. The Shanquilla Robinson case, even before that. And see, this is what I'm saying as far as the smaller platforms, we get overlooked because you got these clout chasers like a Tisa Tells that put out this false information, twist the narratives, clickbait. So naturally, you know, you're going to run to the clickbait. You're going to run to the false narratives and the false information that's out there. And those of us with the smaller platforms that's dropping the jewels and keeping it real and don't clickbait, we get overlooked. And all Ratchet TV was doing, he was just calling her out on her bullshit. And see, for so long, women on the left have gotten away without being checked. And the women on the right, y'all know this. Y'all know this. That's why the women on the right, aren't friends with the women on the left. You ain't gonna find no independent woman that's on her grind, that's a boss chick. You ain't gonna find her socializing with a Cassie. You ain't gonna find her socializing with a funky ass hoe on the left side. A God-fearing woman. She ain't gonna be socializing with them 304s. Single mothers that's holding it down. Women that's successful, that have a family, children, with a husband. Shout out to all of the women and men that have these successful marriages. You're not going to find those type of women befriending those funky ass hoes on the left side. Tisa Tells fall in that category. She ain't had nothing nice to say about Baby Oil Man. Even when the defense was pleading, even when the defense was, you know what I'm saying, hitting home runs, Tisa Tells stayed away from it. She never put that information out there about the defense being victory. Not one. Backtrack and watch our demonstrations. All Tisa Tells reported was the prosecution and how they ripped Baby Oil Man apart. And if she did mention anything about the defense, it was always downplaying them. I see you, Yakaya. I see the chat.
But call me bro. Stop playing with me. We can go bank statement for bank statement around this bitch.
You know what? New media's in the house.
New media wins. New media wins. We on top now, baby. We on top now, baby. Let's go. I'm gonna be on everybody's news platform tonight, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna be on everybody's platform. But look at how many people just witnessed that shit. Look at it. Let's go. Live. She lied, Nick. She lied, Nick. It's a platform. That girl finna lose every. You enjoy them goddamn coins you stole from all them people. You enjoy all them super chats you stole from them people. It's over. It's over. Your time is over. This is who king.
Y'all see this, right? Y'all see this, right? Every time I get to dropping these jewels. Every time.
I'm done. That's all I want to get out. I had to get that off my chest. I've been wanting to say that shit. I had to get that off my chest. Yeah, she everybody that in the news, they heard the whole thing. Yeah, I wasn't being violent. I'm just speaking. I have a freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to. Time I remove him with his broke ass. Girl, if you ass up talking with that same stiff dress with it. Did you ain't go over there to see that shit? I was going off on her. I just went off on Tisa over there. Everybody over there. Armand all them over there. Nika and Knight over there. Yeah, I had to let her know she lying. Everybody typing in my chat, Tisa telling lies. Tisa telling lies. With her lying ass. Oh, wow. With her lying ass. Yeah, y'all was over here listening to Tisa telling lies. Y'all was over here listening to Tisa telling lies. Tisa just telling lies. That girl back there just went off on her ass.
She's a government.
Yeah, thank you. She's a government plant. She was planted here by the federal government and the prosecution team to spin the narrative in the media. No, Tisa tells. She over there. I just went off on her ass over there. Hell yeah. Everybody over there just went off on her. She gonna tell her security, remove him. Oh, bitch, I want them to put their goddamn hands on me. Put your motherfucking hands on me and watch what happens. Them niggas didn't walk nowhere near towards me. Talking about remove him. Girl, you better shut your broke ass up. Remove him. Talking about remove me. Who gonna remove me? Who will remove me or am I gonna remove him? Man. Tisa lies. Everybody mad out here. Goddamn lies to these money, lying to them, and they were eating that shit up. I just gained 300 subscribers from doing that. I just gained 300 subscribers from doing that. Can I get some subscribers? Can I get my 190,000? I'm almost at 190,000 subscribers, y'all. Let's go.
Well, if it isn't Cuzzo Nikki Lynn, if it isn't Nikki Lynn, I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going to drop my link because I did call Nikki out. Come on up, cuz. Let's talk about the win. All right? And I have to give you the panel for you to clap back because I did call you out. Come on up, cuz. And also, come on, Dana J, and just the facts. This should be interesting. This should be interesting. And let's just stick with the not guilty verdict. All right? Let's go, Nick.
I'm scared of your funky ass, I have you know. You
Let's go.
scare me. You do not scare me. Funky ass is in my vocabulary.
Come on, cuz. Let's go, cuz.
Can you hear me?
We from the same litter. We from the same litter. Come on, cuz.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, yes. Come on.
First of all, I'll have you know I ain't funky. Second of all, because I have discernment. I always said the fix was in. Ask anybody who talks to me. I said all they need is one juror. That's all they need. That's all they needed was one juror. And from the very beginning, when that go ahead.
So the fix was put in.
The fix was always in. From the very beginning, when that man came back, or female, whoever, that juror, when they came back and said they can't get along with that one juror, I always said from the very beginning, I ain't gonna name no names, but just ask a few of your Rock Squad members. I said the fix is in. It's going to be one juror that they just not going to be able to convince. And that was from the very beginning. But I'm going to go a step further than that. He was right to request a trial by juror, a juror of his peers, because people run on their emotion. You, Cuzzo, are very emotional. You, and I'm handing out free coupons to you. See, I ain't gonna name no other names because people gonna get mad at me. So I'm gonna just say you. I'm giving y'all free sessions on my couch. Free sessions on the couch. Cause I want to know what's going on up there, y'all. How dare you call me out? No, you're right. You can call me out. You can call me out because I stand in the paint. I'm 100% for everything I say. Diddy has effing problems. That's who you need to be calling a funky ass. Him. His funky ass from the days of Howard. had problems. And if they'd have fixed his funky ass from the beginning, he'd have never had these problems. But nah, they've been letting him get away with his bullish from the very beginning. I hear what y'all saying about he ain't had no RICO case. The feds had, I see somebody saying the feds had a lousy case or whatever. The point is the man got problems. Those of y'all who think that the feds didn't prove their case, that's one thing, but you can't sit here and tell me that you look at this man and see an innocent man. Innocent, he's not. He's not innocent. Found not guilty by a jury of his peers is one thing. He's certainly not innocent. And so, okay, Shank, you called me to task. What's the issue? What issue you had with me? I'm listening.
My issue was the RICO. That's my issue with everybody. The RICO. Everything that you said, Nikki, I agree. My opinion, he is sick. He is. He does have problems. You know, domestic violence, I do believe that. I do believe that he used his money, his power, his influences. I believe all of that. Not to bring Trump in, but the same way. Remember, 30% I disagree with Trump. So with Baby Oil Man, I believe there's some things he's guilty of. But not that racketeering, Nick. Not that racketeering.
Okay.
There was no money. Let me just say that. There was no money coming in. Let's look at the racketeering. It was put on the books in the early 1920s. I believe it first came to play 1923, 1924. Then it got revised, the RICO Act of 1970, when it was revised. It was always about combating organized crime. It was always about combating money being made through these organizations, the mafia, but you did have some pickpocketers. You did have some petty criminals in the very beginning. But it got revised in 1970. That's the RICO Act of 1970. And they went after particular organizations. Even when it first got on the books, it was never about sex. Never. He had freak offs. Probably drugged them. Not saying that he didn't. You know, like I said, used his power, but proving the case with RICO. And it wasn't you, so you don't got to worry about you. And I can't remember who it was. I'll never forget. And I was explaining that first week of the government's case. And I was saying, they starting out weak. Like I said, it wasn't you, Nikki or Mel. It was somebody else. And they chopped my head off. Oh, Shank, they going to come later on. Watch, Shank, watch. I said, trust me. Even in the state is coming out throwing haymakers. The feds, when they come, they coming. They're going to start off with all they got. They'll keep a big joker. But the case from the very beginning was weak. Come on.
Okay, Nick. So before Mel cut in, because I know where Mel about to go with this. I saw her comment in the chat. Let me explain my position because it's never changed. I deal with the sick mind. I deal with abnormal behavior. I deal with the mindset that's diseased. I deal with malfunctions of the mind. But also, when those diseased minds, when those malfunction, when that abnormal behavior then leads to criminal behavior, then I'm a bit deeper involved. So I'm going to disagree with those who say we not talking about sick people, or we're not talking about, malfunctions of the mind, because obviously when those disease of the mind leads to psycho behavior or antisocial behavior that leads to psycho and criminality, then it becomes a bigger issue for us. And so therefore, I'm not going to say that Diddy's sick behavior didn't lead to criminal behavior, because it absolutely did, Shank. And you just mentioned it. When you get into, and I'm sorry to use this word on your platform, but when you get to drugging people and sexually assaulting and coercion, and of course, some of the other YouTubers pointed it out. Yeah, we thought we were going to hear from other celebrities. We thought we were going to hear, so much more coming into this. And they focused on 2-3 individuals. I get what you're saying about Cassie and you thinking the part that she played into this led to this. But it takes one time for you to say no, and then somebody proceed forward and you become a victim. So therefore, I disagree with y'all who think that that Diddy didn't victimize Cassie, regardless of whether or not she took money from him or not, because nowhere in the law does it say you cannot benefit from somebody's criminal behavior or criminal activity against you. I also understand those of you who are thinking that the RICO wasn't proven. Again, those of you who are going off on emotion, I get that too. That's why he went for a jury of his peers. He was supposed to. But that doesn't mean he's innocent. Again, I have my own discernment. I know what I see. I see criminal behavior in Diddy. The fact that somebody says they didn't see it or didn't recognize it, okay, fine. I'll give him that he got off on some charges. I'll give that to y'all who are even happy for him. But I can't celebrate for this man, because you can't deny, again, criminal behavior. We saw it with our own eyes. And all of us should be concerned, disturbed, upset by this man that imposed his power amongst those who was beneath him, that he chose to dominate and abuse because he could. Because if it was you, Shank, you wouldn't have got away with it. And if you think this is just about a Black man being treated wrong, you're wrong. And again, y'all hear me get up here each and every time I speak on Black men, because I have nothing but Black men who's always put me on a pedestal, who's always loved me the right way. I ain't never torn down a Black man. Even if I thought somebody did something wrong to me, I ain't never turned my back on a Black man. Because I think that's where I'm at today. I've had nothing but Black men celebrate me, put me up on a pedestal, help me be who I am today. So this is not about tearing down a Black man. It's about holding Black men, any man, accountable. Man, woman, child. So I'm just sickened by what I see as criminal behavior in anybody who thinks that they should get off because they have money or power. That's what I'm saying. But, and I've also said this, and then I'm gonna let you come in, Mel. If y'all think that he shouldn't have been tried just because the case wasn't strong enough, or that they were applying the wrong laws, I'll give you that bit of it. But please don't say he was innocent. Please don't say that he didn't deserve them going after him. And please don't say that he wasn't manipulative and abusive and sick and a criminal, because he very much is so. So thank you for calling me out. I was back starting your replay from the beginning, and I heard my name. Like, what the hell? But that's fine, because I love your honorable mention. And I'm going to love listening to Mel. So go ahead, Mel. Take it away.
Salute, Shank. Salute, Nikki. That was funny. The honorable mention, that was like, that was funny. But, just like you saw in the chat, and I agree with the things that you're saying, but you have somebody going to federal court on a charge that he was found innocent of. Now, had we not seen that video of the domestic violence on Cassie, it would have been just all word of mouth. I'm just being honest. Out of all the women that he was with, she's the only one that really experienced some domestic violence, right? I didn't never hear anybody else say they experienced that. Not Django, not Gina, not Tammy, Sue, and Allison.
Back from the days of Howard, Mel. Back from the days of Howard.
But I
You
heard
said you
something
never
different.
heard it.
If we go back to the days of Howard, there was a lady when this first came out, and I forgot whose podcast she was on, that knew him from Howard. And they say he was never like that. They didn't know where this person came from because
Back
they
from the
knew
days
him
of
there.
Howard.
But they went to school with him. They said he was never like that. But I just want to land here. This is so much deeper, and unless you really get into, and I wish Shane would do demonstrations on all the stuff I done sent him, or how all this is going, then you have a better understanding. Did he do domestic violence on Kathy? Yes. Should he have been held accountable for that back 20 years when it happened? Yes, he should have. Cassie should have gone to the police. What we can't do, because she experienced domestic violence, we can't take away the role that she played in all of it. She had a role in this. That's why the juror, they wanted to hear Cassie's testimony again. They wanted to hear her testimony. So if you want to know what held things up yesterday, they wanted to hear Cassie's testimony again. So they had discrepancies about her testimony. Things that she testified against about, and then things that one of the guys testified about. I think it was I don't know if it was the other black guy. I don't know, the very first one. They wanted to hear those two testimonies again. When it came to Rico, we just went through this with YSL. You have to prove, and the thing about it is, what was on trial, if I have to be totally honest, what was on trial was Diddy's sex life. And I'm just going to have to be honest with you. After the first week, I couldn't even stand to hear anything else about his sex life. It was gross. It was disgusting. But what was so sad about that is because they knew who Cassie was in the beginning. She was dumped there. But then they made her talk about all this filthy stuff on trial after she got $30 million. So you tell me who was exploited. They said, you was this, you did that. They already have this stuff in their minds, just like we do. All right, hey, you get up and tell your story. Even though she got $30 million for, I guess, Diddy felt bad about the domestic abuse. He did a video on it. Now, does he have other things that he's dealing with? Yes. And I'm going to tell you how I know. Because during COVID, he did a YouTube. And I never forget, he was sitting on his couch. He had on this big white fluffy robe on top of clothes. But he was sitting on the couch in this very lighted room. Maybe it was his family room or whatever. There was no one there but him. And he was talking about how bad he was going through depression and how he just needed help to talk to somebody. But it was on COVID. Everything was shut down. And he was talking about how deep his depression was. And I believed him because I could look at his eyes. It didn't look like him. He looked like, it's hard to explain what he looked like, but he looked just like what he was saying. He really needed that. So where he wound up, I would say, was a result of something that had been going on for a long time. And like I said, I hope Shank puts all that stuff together and does a demonstration because a lot of it he already knows how
Mel,
all this what.
you gonna make me call your funky ass out.
Okay, okay, it's too deep. Okay, it's too
Ain't
deep.
no
I
way
won't
in
go.
the world. Hey Mel, ain't no way in the world. Do you realize how much you sent me? Go ahead,
Yes,
Mel.
yes, but
Y'all keep forgetting though, including
it's
you now. Y'all keep forgetting. Y'all keep making it seem like Cassie started off as Diddy's girlfriend. Somehow y'all all seem
Nikki.
to
Wait,
forget
Nikki,
that she
Nikki,
started off as his artist. He
Nikki.
brought her along as his artist under a contract. The
Nikki.
Rico started even then when he brought her along and she was promised a record deal. That's
Nikki.
the whole start of it. Go ahead, Mal. I
No,
mean,
that's not
I
the
get
start.
it that go ahead, babe.
But you
Go
cut me
ahead.
off. The start of it
I
started
did.
with her first record label. They
It
knew
didn't
that
matter.
she. Why
Once
are
he
you cut?
signed her on, she's
I
not under
digress.
that record label anymore. If
I,
he
Let,
okay.
signed her on as just like y'all told me that Tyler Perry was the head of the business and he shouldn't be messing around with any of his artists or his performers or his actors. Diddy was her boss. That's
let
it.
us
He
slide
was
in,
her
Nikki.
boss.
Let
Go
let
ahead.
us let us slide in.
So Cassie was with another producer who was her boyfriend, who was under another record label, which Cassie started at 16. They said she was a model. She was. She was a print model. J.C. Penney, magazine cover. But she started off as another art. She was an artist with another label. She could sing, but she didn't have that power for a solo artist. That producer was her boyfriend. He couldn't get her where she needed to get. The record label started grooming her back then. But once she couldn't flip through that because after they tricked it out, they was like, like the record labels do. So that producer said, well, you know what? Let me hook you up with my boy Diddy. So that's what he did. However, she went behind his back, told him a lie to get to Diddy in Miami, and she hooked up with Diddy in Miami. That's how that story went. So she was already in that realm where she wound up with Diddy. She was already there. Nobody stays that long with somebody if they didn't have an ulterior motive. She made songs, but
I
one thing,
disagree, Mel.
well, you disagree, and you can, but if you go back and look at the history of it all, you can disagree with what I'm saying. So that's why you
But
got to go back, and
that's why I
that's
want
what.
I want to give you and J Rock flowers. Y'all,
But
y'all
yeah,
got it. Y'all down on the
but we're
history
telling you
and the
right.
facts.
But
Y'all
right.
down
So
on it. But that doesn't lend to the criminality of the behavior we're talking about. So when you talk
okay,
about what happened criminal, y'all have the facts, y'all have the history, but did the other record label abuse her? Did they sexually assault her? Did they drug her? Did they keep her under a false contract, under a false narrative that they were going to produce records for her? Y'all talk about the history, but
they
y'all don't talk about the criminal behavior. And what I want to say, I just want to answer one thing for you real quick because I got to go. But the reason victims stay, Mel, is fear. And you talk to anybody that's been in a domestic violence case, that's been abused, and they'll tell you why they stay. Y'all keep saying why she stayed, why she stayed, why she stayed. Talk to anybody that's ever been domestically abused, and they'll tell you why. It's fear, and fear was it was drawn out throughout this case. Fear is why they stay. And if you've never been in a situation like that, maybe you'll never understand it. But you can't put yourself in her place and say, oh, why she stayed that long. She told you why she stayed. The text messages, it was all out there. It really doesn't matter how old she was in her first record label. and whether or not she was manipulative or anything else. If the abuse and the criminal behavior didn't occur with the first record label, it occurred with Diddy. That's all I'm saying. You and J Rock, y'all good with that. Y'all give us this history and y'all give us these facts, and I appreciate it. But I'm not writing no biography. We talking about the criminal behavior that occurred with the one person that's on trial here. That's what I want to stick to.
So the criminal behavior was domestic violence. Okay, let's explore that. So usually persons that's in a domestic violence situation and they don't leave, that's because usually they're staying under the same roof with that person. That person is their sole provider. They are staying under the same roof, right?
Mel, did you see him drag her down the hallway and kick her? Did
Okay,
you
give
see
me
her,
that.
him
Let
drag
me,
her? It wasn't even about her
Nikki,
being in the same.
Nikki,
He
let
had
me answer the
control over
question.
her. He had
Nikki,
bodyguards watching her, personal assistants. You making this too simplified. It's not as simplistic as you're making it. It just hurts me to my heart to hear females go against, and this is not a believe every female case, but we saw what was before us. I just can't believe some of y'all are caping for this man when we saw what was before us, Mel.
Nikki, give me
Fear.
a sec.
It
Nikki, give
wasn't
me a
even
second.
about him being in the same. He didn't let her leave the house. He blew up that man's car.
Nikki, give me a second. Give me just
Okay,
don't
go
cut me
ahead,
off.
Mel.
Don't cut me off. So even if you speak about the video, Cassie left the room, right? So there was right across from the room was an elevator. If she would have turned right, there was a staircase. But instead, she went to the left and picked up a phone. So I'm just saying, I'm not excusing what he did, but I'm just saying the opportunity. But my question is, did Cassie live? That was she was at a hotel. Did Cassie live under the same roof with Diddy? She didn't. None of them did. None of those women lived in Diddy's house. They all had their own place. Cassie had an apartment in Manhattan. Cassie moved to California. Cassie never lived under a roof with Diddy, ever. None of them did. Now there was a personal assistant that was probably at the house longer than most, but none of them lived under the same roof with him. He wasn't constantly with them all the time. Diddy was running $1 billion business. He was here checking on, the crop for his alcohol. He was producing. He was here. He was there. So she didn't live under the same roof with him at all.
Mel,
She
he had
didn't.
influence over almost every aspect of her life. He was calling her
Okay.
doctor's office and everything. Mel, I'm so saddened by the fact that you just
I'm.
think that
You
he
know
was
what?
running his
I like to.
business.
You know what?
And
I like to call things the way I see it because you know what? Fantasia was under Clive Davis, who is the real culprit.
Mel, you're
Fantasia
making
went
this
broke.
real
Wait, hold on
simplistic,
for a
and it's
second.
not that. Okay.
Fantasia went broke twice because they was trying to draw her into all of that foolishness. But you know what? She used her faith and she went broke. And she built her own self back up because she refused to participate in that foolishness. So I go to say this and about a lot of different artists that walked away from foolishness in the industry when they were 16, 17. Tracy Spencer, Stacey Lattisaw. These people walked away because they didn't want to be caught up in foolishness. They walked away. Cassie didn't live under Diddy's roof. Cassie could have walked away at any time. You had one label said, her music ain't good enough. Now you hear she surpassed the record thing. She began to want the life that Diddy provided. She didn't need that. She could have took her talents to another label. So she didn't stay with Diddy because she was afraid. She stayed with him for the lifestyle. That is why Jane Doe stayed. That is why Mia was there. That is why all of these people were around him for the lifestyle. And we have to, I'm not excusing what he did to Cassie. I'm not excusing the domestic violence he did against Cassie. I'm not excusing that at all. She got $30 million from it, and kudos to her. That's the truth. But he was not on trial for domestic violence. He was on trial for RICO, which again hurts everybody. So there we go. Now we can just say two down. There go Young Thug, there go Diddy. Now it's time for them to now go fight for R. Kelly because this is not right. All of the things that they're saying, and if you notice, everything is about sex. Everything. That's why you have to research and go back to who is actually the leaders of this whole thing. They know they didn't have a case. They knew that Diddy was going to beat Rico. So right before his verdict, they sent another lady that said Diddy, his son, and some other man in the head, accepted her at an airport and gang raped her. This was just a couple of days ago, and she said, "Oh well, I was blindfolded. I didn't see him, but I just knew that was his perceived." Why would he have to do all that? They're gonna keep coming because they're losing their battle. Because these people, these guys, our culture, they want to take their culture back and rid it of all of the other stuff that's going on in the industry because it's there. And unless they have the time to really sit down and see it, then you would say, oh my God. Then you probably think different about Diddy and different about Jay-Z and different about R. Kelly and different about Suge Knight. You have to see the beginning of it. That's why to this day, they say Tupac faked his death to get away from it. To get away from it. He didn't want that to suck him in because of who he was.
Let me slide in. Did you come in yet, J-Rock? I mean, that's just the facts. Oh, I got to hit you upside the head real quick.
My brother.
No. Let me
go
say
ahead,
something.
Go ahead. Let me mute myself.
Yeah, I'm only going to say a few words to your funky ass, just the facts. You told me that they were going to find baby oil man guilty, and I tried to tell you just the facts. I tried to tell you. Come on in, because I called you out like I called Nick out. Come on in.
Yes, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. You know what I mean? You're the first person to say, don't think about this from a technical standpoint. There's always the emotional element. So with that being said, you called it way ahead of time. So I give you a credit on that without question. And also, I just like to say that the judicial process is played out. The jury has made their verdict, and we accept it and we move on. You know what I mean? Now, one thing that I do find interesting is, the precedents that this sets. I don't think the world has gotten, well, at least America has gotten the time to digest it. So Diddy was convicted of the Mann Act. And I know you and I, Shank, we talked about this. And for those who don't know, the Mann Act is basically, transporting any woman or girl for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery for any other immoral purpose. So based on that, for the everyday person, do you think it's okay to be flying out your girlfriend now?
Well, now that I know, hell no.
Exactly.
But of course, before they stretch the law with that, then yeah, I mean, because like you said, I could be entertaining Nikki or Mel or any female in the chat, and okay, well, I'm having a party in Atlanta, in 2 weeks, come on out. Then I fly them out, we partying, we have a drink or two, and then next thing you know, we in relations. That falls under that sex trafficking, correct?
No, I mean that falls under the Mann Act because
that falls under the man. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Because the question is, what is debauchery? What does illegal purposes mean? You know what I'm saying? Some people, And so I think that's what in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right now everybody's kind of happy that I guess Diddy didn't get life or he did get convicted on all the charges. But I think 1 week or 2 weeks, when everybody calms down, they're gonna be like, whoa, what just happened? Like, and I think that's when, and I think it's a good thing, because since when people realize that, then I think that we'll have the outrage, and then hopefully we start making the phone calls that we need to make to our lawmakers to change the law. But until these things happen and it hits closer to home, we all live our daily lives. That's my contribution I have right there for now.
You could come on then, Cuz, or Mel, Nick, somebody.
Yeah, can I say something right quick?
Go ahead.
Shane, to Nikki and to all of the women in the chat. No, I really haven't been a part of a domestic violence relationship. Some mental or verbal, but I'm not excusing the domestic violence that Diddy did on Cassie. I am not excusing that at all. But as we always say, you have to charge a person for what they're guilty for. You have to even think about you that have sons. And Nick, I know you have two. And I know they're raised right. But this is just a hypothetical what if. What if it was your son? Would you want him to be charged with what he did or with a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to lock him up for the rest of his life? That's the question. It's not, we all know what we saw on that video. So we all know that he did it. And back then, 20 years ago, but see, the jurisdiction played out. But back then, he should have been charged with that, and let his attorneys work it out, however they're going to work it out in the court. Whether he got probation, did a year, whatever the time is for that. That is that. But you have to charge a man for what they actually did. That's why we set up there for 300 something days listening to the Fulton County talk all of this stuff about a RICO, but not once did they even mention Thug's name. But he was on trial for a RICO with 28 other people. Like, that was insane. What did he do? So yes, we know did he beat Cassie? We know that. But he wasn't on trial for that. But they used that to emotionally gain support. But when people started listening to the case, the courtroom wasn't always full every day. But because people got tired of hearing about his sexual preference. Because it was redundant. But look how long they spent on that, trying to stick something. But a RICO, that can take a man or a woman's life away. And he was just not guilty of that. They tried to throw in, Cassie mama got a home equity loan, $20,000, sent it to Diddy, and Diddy sent it right back. But his financial person didn't say that. So it was all just little tits and bits. So I agree. Unfortunately, domestic violence had passed state and federal, what do you call it? Time. But domestic violence is not a federal crime.
And let me just slide in, Mel, before I forget this. We're not saying that victims. Okay, let me backtrack. Okay, let me put it back in its proper perspective. Cassie is on the left side of the tracks. She's not a female that's on the right side of the tracks. It's been proven. She's on the left side of the tracks. Now, for those victims, and I said it earlier, there are victims out here, they can't leave because they are dependent on that man that abuses them. Financially, they just can't leave. They can't. Cassie's situation was the complete opposite. Cassie wasn't solely dependent on P. Diddy. Cassie was making her own money. Cassie had ample amount of times to leave. Cassie went away for months filming that movie that she was in. She had money. Why did she come back? once again, as Mel was saying, Cassie was a plant, okay? Good observation, Nikki, when you said when she was with the other record company, none of that transpired from being with P. Diddy took place. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know if any of that took place. I'll say it again, and I'll stand 10 toes down on it. I know about that much, but I know what I know. Cassie, she's a funky ass hoe, and she do what funky ass hoes do. She's an out-of-pocket hoe. She's a hoe that comes around and it's all about her and what she can get out of it. That's why the jurors, that's why they wasn't buying it. That's why they wanted to hear it again. They wasn't buying it. See, when the male escorts started to come in and they started to give their testimony, the Punisher said that he met with Cassie. The Punisher said that Cassie paid him. The Punisher also said Cassie told him, out of everybody, I'm comfortable with you, right? She continued in these relations with this man. I mean, like I said, there are victims out there, but usually when the victims that are being victimized, they are solely dependent on this man financially. She wasn't dependent at all on P. Diddy. She was around P. Diddy to milk the cow for all she could get. That's what ended up happening when she got to 30 million or 20 million. Nothing more, nothing less. P. Diddy was a cash cow to her. And she was a piece of ass to him that he was trying to help further her career. It happens all the time. And it just don't happen in the music industry. It happens in corporate America. It happens on the 9 to 5. And that's why you'll hear people ask certain females, who did you sleep with to get to the top? Women have been doing this for ages, and they're going to continue to do this. Not those that's on the right side of the tracks. See, the picture that I'm painting, the point that I'm landing is, don't mistake Cassie for a woman on the left side. I mean, don't mistake Cassie for a woman on the right side of the tracks. Don't mistake P. Diddy for a man on the right side of the tracks. They are both players. Make no mistake about it. P. Diddy is a player. Cassie is a player. And in that world, when I was in that world, it come with the territory. Whatever happens to you, come with the territory. If I'm in the left side of the world, and if I'm out here operating as a dope boy, I can't cry when I get locked up. I can't cry when somebody robbed my stash. Comes with the territory. If I'm operating as a player, I can't get upset when somebody steal my woman. Somebody knock me for my hoe. I can't. It come with the territory. If I'm gangbanging, if I'm in that gladiator world and I'm knocking people out, somebody come and knock me out, I can't get mad and call the law on them. I can't get mad and want to shoot them. It's just certain things come with the territory. It comes with the territory. Cassie's territory was she's dealing with a big time music executive by the name of Sean Combs. Okay, he can get me to where I need to get at. Like Mel said, she only had one song, one record that we know of. That's it. Nothing more, nothing else. She was a nobody. She was a tag along. She was a bum ass hoe. Just the
okay. Wait a minute. Wait. So, because you're diving into so many different avenues that we can explore. And some things you're saying I totally agree with, and some things I'm like, eh. So, I mean, you're explaining and describing the rules of the street. I get that. you know, and I get that if you sign up for the game, then you know the rules, and you can't pick and choose which ones you want to play by. I get that. Right. If somebody robbed me of my stash, I can't go and cry to the police. That's one part. I got that. But it's other things that, okay, so the world isn't made of good people and bad people. Is that is just not black and white like that. It's all these people, all of us who fall in between. Is a lot of gray areas. And the world isn't made up of victims and those who aren't victims. Two things can be true. Cassie can be a hoe, and she can also be a victim. And I'll give you one better. And you know it, and Mel know it, and I don't say it much, but all of my clients, every last one of them, were criminals, for a lack of a better word. But that doesn't mean that they weren't ever victims or victimized or had wrong done to them. And that doesn't mean that I didn't never, ever need to advocate for them. Because those two things can be true too. They could have done wrong in their life. They could have been a criminal, but they also could have once been a victim or victimized. And the same is true for Kathy. And what I'm seeing here, and I really have to go, but I just want to say this. The fact that they found Diddy not guilty of one specific behavior to Kathy, but found him guilty of the exact same behavior for Jane, just lets you know that emotion was into play here. And the reason being was Kathy got paid. And that's what they were most upset about. So they're equating the fact that she got paid for her pain and suffering. They thought that was enough. That now they don't want to describe her as being a victim because she got paid for her pain and suffering. And that's just not true. Nowhere in the law does it say that you can't profit or you can't benefit, because we do it all the time. Every time someone loses their life out of the hands of the police, the family gets paid. The families are the victim. And we pay them. Why the hell you throwing? I'm gone. Why you throwing hot dogs in the check? See, you just can't get it out of you.
No,
you
Nick, I'm responding. What? I'm responding to Freshie, Nick.
See, stay focused.
Okay, but Freshie, look now. Freshie threw up the hot dogs. You need to come and get a New York hot dog. That's all, Nick. But go ahead. I'm gonna focus. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what? God, I gotta go. I got plans. Salute. Just the facts. I appreciate your perspective. I love that you came with just the facts. I saw the demonstration the other day where you was revealing the paperwork. As always, Mel, I respect you. I appreciate your mindset. I just happen to disagree. The same shank, Cuzzo. Oh Lord, now they coming with the damn tacos. I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank y'all. Thanks for calling me out. My honorable mention. I'm going to take it. Talk to y'all later.
Appreciate you, Nick. Come on then, just the facts.
Man, interesting times, man. Interesting times, you know. Well, it is what it is. Let's see what the judge has to say. I wonder, you know, if they're gonna give him time served. If they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna give you the max 10 years, we're gonna give you 2 years, we're gonna give you 3 years. Are we even gonna give you bail? You know what I'm saying? These are things that are coming to my mind. But did these lawyers? I don't know how much they're getting paid, but hey, man.
I tell you something. When they brought on Brian Steele, I already knew.
They're talking smack right now. Like, yo,
he just went through that. But believe me, people were talking about, oh my God, they calling too many objections. They calling too many mistrials. Because I'm telling you this, Brian Steele was writing an appeal during that whole trial. That's what he's good at. And anything that they could even appeal that if they feel it appealable. But I think right now they're just trying to get him home on $1 million bond, a bail, or something like that. And hopefully the judge grants that, because everybody just think Diddy didn't have a bail. And I think even Jarvis Bucks got a bail, and he's done some crazy stuff, but he's got a bail. He can't make it, but he got one. They never gave Diddy a bail. And so to me, they just railroaded him into, you know, that. And again, like their thoughts are the thoughts of a lot of people. Oh my God, he got so much power, influence. You know, if he get out, he's gonna do this. But you have to think, if he had that much power, influence, he wouldn't have never been in there.
And let me just say this, Mel, before I forget. Okay. Mel, let me say this before I forget. Now, when Baby Oil Man was with Kim Porter, wasn't Cassie the side chick, or wasn't Cassie hanging around, and wasn't Cassie laughing and joking about how he done Kim Porter?
Cassie destroyed Kim and Puffy's relationship. She destroyed it.
I mean, and this is what I'm trying to explain to everybody. She's a hoe. She's a funky ass hoe. You know, she before she got with Baby Oil Man, you know, she was already this individual. And anybody that done time, anybody that's been in the game, like I explained, it come with the territory. And being in the game, you're gonna have some wins, you're gonna have some losses, you're gonna have some draws. It just come with the territory. You can't cry, you can't complain. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know what else to tell you. She's a hoe. Come on. And we had to put it in its proper perspective. She's a hoe.
I think the domestic violence started because I don't think he was always like that. None of his other, I just never heard of him being like that with anybody else. I think the domestic violence started because they was both players, and she was trying to play harder than him, but he had the bag.
Right. Let me clear this up real quick. That's what we're saying, Freshie. Kim didn't ruin it. Cassie ruined it. See, it's the same way with Sparkle and R. Kelly. Come on, y'all. I mean, come on. Now I can bring my pimp buddies up here. I mean, I got some stomp down pimp buddies that I can bring up here, and maybe they can put it in a proper perspective for y'all. She's a hoe. Come on, just the facts. You a man, so you know what comes with certain women. You know the territory. Right. You know that. Right. So you know, I mean, if you had Cassie, what would you done with Cassie? Your honest opinion. What would you have done?
What would I have dealt with her?
What would you have done with her?
Oh, okay. As soon as Cassie hit me up saying she wanted to put out the book and stuff, I'd have just paid her the money. And
no, I'm talking about if she stepped to you, being in a relationship with a dude, she stepped to you, right? You, Baby Oil Man, you in the predicament that Baby Oil Man is in.
Well, I'm Puff, and she's dating Ryan Leslie.
Right. You Puffy. You got millions of women coming at you. You Puff. So you know most of these women are only getting at me because of who I am. Off the rip.
Yo, listen, to be honest with you, as soon as, like you said, if I'm Puff, as soon as I see she's trying to get at me, I already know what time it is. And I know, but unlike Puff, I know that my life is in danger. I don't think it's just party time, but I know that my life will be in danger because she's for the money, not for the love.
But just the facts now, she putting out, you gonna smash.
Yeah. But also you gotta be careful though. I ain't gonna bring other homies to smash though.
Right. But hear me out though. Peep the move. That's a pimp move. That's pimping 101.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying.
Let me come. Okay, now his baby oil man. Let me see if she is this type of woman, this type of woman, this type of woman. This Puff, this not Puff being a monster. Puff being a monster is the hit that he put on Tupac. Puff being a monster is how he left Craig Mack, right? And Black Rob. See, those are the what word am I trying to grab? But that's proven how of a monster Puff was. That's what I'm saying. It's all kind of ways that they could have came at Puff to prove this RICO. Why did they skip over Bad Boy Records? You know why they skipped over Bad Boy Records, right? Because a lot of heavy hitters was tied in with Bad Boy Records. And if they would have snatched Puffy up on a RICO with Bad Boy Records, which they would have been able to prove, they would have been bringing down some big wigs. So we could have grabbed them. Come on, Mel.
Clive Davis owned Bad Boy Records.
Come on. And let me land my plane with the Puff and how he viewed Cassie. Most men, I'm like this. I throw things out there for a woman that I'm dealing with. So he testing her. So it's the same way with her man that she with now. After this trial is over with, my man gonna leave Cassie. He's not gonna hang around Cassie because he see the type of woman she is. Look. Come on. So here's Puffy. Puffy seeing it like, damn, she going for this. She going for that. He was testing this hoe. Let's put it in this proper perspective. Kim wasn't no hoe. He knew Kim wasn't no hoe. Certain females, you know they're a hoe when they come on board because most females, that's hoes. All the hoes that I dealt with, from the funky hoes, the dumb hoes, the broke hoes, all the hoes told me coming in, I'm a hoe, Shank. None more, none less. I messed up a long time ago with a rich hoe because the rich hoe, I was 19 years old. The rich hoe told me. She laid the game down to me. My funky ass, I'm quick to call y'all a bunch of funky asses. This is my funky ass. I let a rich hoe get by me. My funky ass squared like a motherfucker. She telling me her get down. I'm like, no, don't say that. She telling me I sleep with men. How you think I get all this money? I'm like, no, I ain't believe her. But once I got put up on game, I saw it for what it was, and I said, damn, I had a rich hoe when I was at years old. I know y'all probably tired of me calling Cassie a funky hoe, and I know y'all probably tired. That's why I digress. Mel and Just the Facts, please come in.
Shank, I'm going to slide in right quick before you just the facts because I don't want to forget what I just read. Two things that I read. One was, do we think that the guy is going to leave Cassie? And I said that long time ago. After she sat up there and said all that stuff about what she did, this guy, her husband was a D1 athlete. He was a football player or something. He white. All of it. Do you think after that, his family is not in his ear? Like, what in the world? He gonna take the money, he gonna take the money, the kids, and the house. That's the way I feel. And to I think her name is Mashia. I have been leaning toward what you said about Kim and who actually could have done it. I've been leaning toward that for a very long time. I feel that way, and it became a stronger feeling to me when she said that she was at her funeral and she was jealous because Diddy said that Kim was his soulmate. At that point, I just feel like anybody that's on that kind of time, she could have took her out. I believe that. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I see that you think the same thing. I felt like that when I heard her say that, how she was at a woman's funeral and jealous of her because Diddy called her her soulmate. Now, if you look at the women he was dealing with when it comes to especially Mia and relationship wise, Mia and Cassie, they were both pretty much non-African American women. But anybody else, you know, he just they it just don't seem like they experienced the same things that these two women experienced. And maybe it was the fact that, you know, they were 304s and they came for the bad. Be honest, there are a few people that really was there for the job and the experience. But for all those other ones, they were all there for the bag. And they were willing to do anything to get the bag. And I digress on that.
Interesting. Well, I agree with you guys. The only part, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Jane and Cassie were opportunists, and they were there to maximize the opportunity that they had. Diddy, being the mogul that he is, he should have noticed that these guys are opportunists and should have protected himself. He didn't protect himself, and now we find ourselves in this situation. So, you know, I think the cookie crumbled the way it was supposed to crumble. You know, Cassie, you know, did what she had to do. She's gotten paid. Diddy did what he had to do. He's not getting life. And Jane did what she had to do. She didn't have to pay her lawyer. And it'll be interesting to find out next month if Diddy paid her rent.
I think that when he comes out of this, he's going to be a new person.
He's going to what?
I think when he comes out of this, he's going to be so much on his grind that everybody that portrayed him better watch out. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's going to be so much on his grind that I think he's going to rise again. I feel like they tried to defame his name, but I think that he has a lot of supporters that's going to be there to support him because they knew that it was all, you know, this whole thing was just crap for him. You know, I'm quite sure that he would invest his time and money into a counselor. I'm quite sure because like I say, during COVID, I remember that YouTube he made, and he was needing help then because he was in such a depressed state because they're dealing with a lot. He had to deal with all this, but just think of the people behind it. You know, do they get a chance to just leave this earth peacefully without having to pay for their sins of all of this stuff? Everything behind any of them, you know, the artists, you know, from Diddy to Kels to Jay-Z to all of them, there's always something bigger. There is. I'm not going to say always. There is something bigger behind this whole machine. That is called the head of the snake, right? If they cut off the head of the snake, then the rest will die. Is that right?
It's facts.
So they got to get to the head, and it's definitely not Diddy.
Any last words before we get out of here, Mel? I got to get ready for this next demonstration.
No, I'm out. You know, just looking forward to whatever's next. Talk to you later. Later, just the facts.
Well, I pray Diddy gets a fair trial in the end. Let's see what the judge has to say. You know, I hope they don't decide to give him 10 years on each two accounts, because that means that'll be 20 years. And effectively, that would be life for Diddy. 20 plus 55 would be 75. So I hope that doesn't happen, you know, but we'll see what the judge does. And, you know, until next time, Shank. You know
I appreciate you, good brother.
Sure.
All right. Well, there y'all have it. P. Diddy has been found not guilty on RICO. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I'll leave the chat running and you all can hang around.
I'd like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out.
Tinted window screaming after law out my mouth. I'm switching lanes from up north to down south. Now everybody trying to figure how I put it down. I took my show on the road straight out of town. Pee-wee is my nigga, so you know I brought some crooks with me.
1998, they tried to throw the book at me.
Tell me what you see every time you take a look at me. A straight P, I only be where the hookers be. A old head, but still can pull any fly chick. One thing's for sure, you never see me ride a nigga dick. I got a thoroughbred who loves to call me pretty daddy. Through Alabama, getting hit in a pink caddy when I come through. Everybody knows me, the young niggas love me. They call me they OG. Go and do your homework about the shit that I spit. They gon' tell you that that nigga Shank is legit. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. I eat a chicken box before I play a game of spades. I guess a half and half is sweet tea mixed with lemonade. Some brown liquor with a coke to sharpen up my skills. I switch lanes cause I only fuck with the real. Now she's a winner, so I got to keep her on my team. Plus I'm a real one, so I never ever sell her dreams. You wanna know if I'll quit or if I'll stop? But they say it ain't over till your casket drops. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes. When I'm switching lane.